Right. And I think one thing with the salary number on OG, like the cap's going to go up, right? So the percentage of the cap, I think, is how you look at this thing. And if he's, 35, the percentage is going to be a certain number right now, but it's going to be a smaller percentage as you go forward and the cap increases, especially after the next TV deal for the league. So we'll see. We'll see. But Isaiah Hartenstein obviously is another free agent for New York, another question for them, something they have to deal with. Hartenstein, to me, well, I know this. One of the reasons the Knicks didn't want to go all the way up on Emmanuel quickly, I don't know if it was a major reason, minor reason, but they wanted to have the financial wherewithal to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein. So that tells you that they want to bring him back badly. Now they're limited in what they can offer Hartenstein because of the collective bargaining agreement. They have early bird rights on him. I think they can go plus 16 plus annually to start, and then the contract will have it could have standard increases, and so they give him multiple years, 16, 17 a year. Obviously teams that have cap space can go north of that. We know Orlando was right in there on Hartenstein this summer that the Knicks signed him. We know Orlando has cap space now. I don't know specifically where they're looking, if they want to invest big money in a big man, but Hartenstein will be one of the top big men on the market. Detroit had interest in Nick Claxton big time last summer, so that tells you kind of where they may be on a big man. Nick Claxton, another free agent big man this summer. Expect him to go back to the Nets. I would expect Hartenstein to ultimately go back with the Knicks too, but there are going to be decisions to make there. And when you look at the impact that he has had on this group this season, Shaun, I'm just curious, do you value him as a guy where you say, let's do everything we can to bring him back? The Knicks have Mitchell Robinson, Jericho Sims, Precious Achiuwa, more of a 4, not necessarily a 5, but they do have other bigs on the roster. Do you see him as a guy that you can't let go?
Yes, I do. Just one, for chemistry, his consistency, and I think it's important, if we've learned this year especially, it's important to have depth at the center position. It's important to have depth everywhere. And so, having Mitch and Ihart puts us in position to have 48 minutes of very good center play. I don't want to knock, but I don't want to depend on Jericho Sims as a reliable option. His minutes were pretty terrible this year. The regression was sad. So I definitely say you pay Isaiah Hartenstein. I think he's a big part of what we do with this team on both ends of the floor. I think the way he stepped up and made himself, so irreplaceable pretty much that he stayed in the starting role. He opened up the offense with his passing. His offensive rebounding was excellent. And his defense outside of the playoffs was very solid as well. So I definitely want to keep Isaiah Hartenstein. And on the Roommate show, Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart's podcast, which every Knicks fan should be watching, by the way. You're not a Knicks fan if you're not watching it. But, they had Isaiah Hartenstein on there. And, they were just talking about getting it done and him coming back and how he wanted to be here. So keep that going.
Brendan, is this something that you would want to keep going? Excuse me. No matter the cost. Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein obviously gives the Knicks great depth at center. Do you see this as a must-have for New York, or could they use some resources elsewhere? How do you view it?
Well, from being the Knicks announcer, this is like one of my least favorite things, because what everyone does is says, oh, I like Hartenstein better than Mitch, or I like Mitch better than Hartenstein. No. You need both of them because they offer so many different things as the two players. They're best friends on the team. They support each other very much. So to me, they're both guys who can play very effectively around the half of a game minutes thing. Now, Hartenstein, the best thing he does offensively is pass the basketball. But conversely, when he does do that, and he did it for a couple of games in the series, if he's up at the elbow or he's at the top of the key in all the split game options, then he's not on the offensive glass because he can't be. He's 18 to 20 feet away from the basket. But I still think that's the best way to use him. If you have him in the starting group, and, those 4 other guys, he can be a great piece in that regard. He is a phenomenal, I sense where the ball should go passer. The Clippers used them that way. I don't think Tom's used them enough that way. And I just think that could be a great dynamic for the rest of the team. He and Mitchell Robinson and even Sims are great screeners. And for all the dribble handoffs that you run and all the elbow and side pick and rolls that you run, having really good screeners in Hartenstein, in Mitch, in Sims, that's a big part of Jalen Brunson's offense. So you want this guy back. He checks many boxes, but can we please stop with, well, I'm playing him over him? No, you need them both. That's how you have a really good team. That's how you get deep in the playoffs, when you have 9, 10, 11, 12 guys you can really count on.